Hello to you. So happy to see you on our YouTube channel here at Improov. I'm Sandrine Gressard and I'm really pleased to welcome you here. We got some great videos to show you. This next one's really exceptional. I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as we had fun making it for you. Remember, you can subscribe to this channel to get all the other videos that we're coming out with on a regular basis. Make sure you don't forget to hit that bell so that you get notified, and give us a little like, of course, if you like it. And then we'll just play the video now so that you can enjoy it and learn how to be more efficient, how to save time, and how to enjoy life that much more. Now, tasks also is an application that kind of has a friend called Keep. So a lot of times when we're talking about tasks, we're going to talk about Keep, because Keep is your application for your notes. But Keep has a capacity to act as a task list. So let me pop it out into a new tab. And that's the other thing, because it pops out into a new tab, Keep, you could grab that tab and just pull it out from the rest and say, you know what, I want it on a different screen, or I want to keep it on the corner on half of my screen, or whatever. So you have different options of how you can work with Google Keep. And see, we have a really nice ways of writing notes. It's not just regular notes. So if you look here at Take a Note, as soon as you click on it, you have all these options that show up. So you can remind yourself to get the note done, so you can stick a reminder to it. You can add collaborators to your notes. So let's say there's 2 or 3 of you working on the same list of things to do. Then that allows you to be 2 or 3 working together on that note. You can look at the background, so you can give it, that's how we have those images here. So we can say, well, I want this color in the background, and say, well, all my blue notes are for this thing. Like, we could actually organize it that way. We can add an image. So let's say you want to, I don't know, you're working on some JPEGs or some images or a brochure or something, and you have a JPEG version of that or any kind of image format. You could take that image and say, here, can you change this on this image? And this note would be like the whole way to share that information. And then you can archive any notes that you're done with. So instead of deleting them, you can archive them, and they will end up here. And so the archive button, just like in Gmail, that's the place where it's basically your everything pile. So if I go back to Gmail and show you the archive here, you see whenever I hit the archive button, so if I were to take this one, and I'm going to label it on purpose, I'm going to do a right click. I'm going to label it as projects. And sorry, there it is, projects. And I'm going to apply. And now it's gone into projects. But let's say I wanted to archive it, then I could just take it into projects here and say, you know what, this one I want it archived. So all I need to do is hit the archive button. And now it would be labeled as projects, but you'd also find it in all mail. There it is. You see, it's got the projects label projects, but it's in all mail. So whenever you're looking for something that you've archived, don't worry about it. It's all there, and it'll be easy to search, because your search function in your Gmail will really allow you to find stuff no matter where it is. And you see, you can search in all mail. You can search with specific labels. You can search everything that has the projects label on it, just find it. When you do that, there it is. So it's really practical if you're using the labels as well as, and they end up being like folders, and you use the search functionality really well, you'll see that it's very easy. And if you wanted to create the same search without doing all that, you could just type label : no space projects, and you'd have found the same thing. Now you see how Gmail works. So same thing for Google Keep. It has a search function. As you know, Google's biggest strength is their search engine, and that is in everything they do. So the search engine is really powerful in all of the applications. So here, let's say we have a task to do that is build a report to send to our B client, or client B. There you go. And then here I would start writing a note, and I go, you know what? I don't want a regular note. I actually want a checklist. So in the 3 dots here, you see it says show checkboxes. So now I can start saying, okay, so find financials for the past 2 years. Get Laura to send me the presentation from last quarter. So I'm building a report and I need all these little bits and pieces to create my report. And I would list everything I need here. And once I'm done, I would say, okay, so now I know what I have to do. And I could set a reminder for myself and say, you know what, I need to do it next week. And so there's a default in terms of times. So I can say, if I pick a date and time, I can pick, there's the default is 8 a.m., 1 p.m., 6 p.m., or 8 p.m. Now, those defaults can be modified, and there is a custom option. So if you don't like those times and you think you'd rather have morning at 10 a.m., afternoon at 2 p.m., etc., you can go here into the gear and go change that. So that would be what I would do. And then now it says today at 3:30, I need to do this. And I could also now add a label to it and say, well, this is concerning, see, I've got two labels here, personal notes, work notes. So they show up here. So I could add a new one that's saying client notes and say create client notes. And there it is. It's created. And then I close it. And now it's at the bottom here. But let's say I'm really actively working on this. I don't want it on the bottom. I want it up here. So all I'm going to do is see the little pin. I'm going to pin it and it's going to come up to the top. Isn't that cool? So really nice way to organize your notes so that they're easy to find, easy to work with. And this whole keep thing is always on the side, right? Remember, it's here. It's in your panel right here. You don't have to go into the whole application. You could work on it right there. You could say, you know what? I'm going to create a new note. And there it is. You can do the exact same thing. Take a note. It's the same thing. Your three dots. You'll have once you give it a title, and you say, okay, I need to do something, and you say done, you have your note here. So now it says work on this. But if you want it detailed though, then yes, you'll have to do the open and keep, but at least jot something down really, really fast. You'll be able to do it right here on the side. And sometimes that's what it is, right? We have an idea in our heads and we don't write it down right away, and then we forget it. And we're like, oh, I should have written it down right away. Well, now there's really no excuse because you got it right there. And technically, and you know, on your phone, I use it on my phone a lot. I have Google Keep on my phone, and every time I'm on the road and I have an idea or somebody gives me a piece of information that I don't want to forget, I just take it down right away and keep, and then it synchronizes everywhere. I have access to it on my desktop, on my laptop, on a tablet. I have access to it all over the place. So as you know, the synchronization functions now of web-based applications like all the Google applications is really, really practical. Okay, so I want to show you a few more things because I got a few more tricks up my sleeve. If you have any questions, you know, you can enter them in the chat. So please don't hesitate. If you want me to show you something again, I'll be happy to do that. Right now, one thing I wanted to go back on, I mentioned earlier, is that when you're in your inbox, you know how sometimes you'll get a message that comes in and you read it and you go, well, I got to do this, but I can't take care of that right now, but I'd like to get back to it tomorrow. You can hit the snooze button. That's really cool. The snooze button allows you to say, bring me back that same email on a specific day at a specific time. So it offers you default at 6 p.m. today, 8 a.m. tomorrow, or later this week or whatever. Or you can say, you know what, I want to work on this absolutely on Friday, and I want it to be at 10 a.m. So I'm going to hit Friday, 10 a.m., save, and now this email will disappear, and Friday, 10 a.m., poof, it'll come right back into my inbox. So that's really, really practical. If you want to look at all your snoozed emails, though, and you're like, oh, I snoozed it till Friday, but where did it go? Don't worry, it's right here. So you go here to snoozed, and there it is. And you can work on it earlier if you realize you have time to, or it becomes priority or whatever. So the snooze function is really, really cool. I think it's really fun. It also declutters your inbox, allows you to focus on what's important now and really go back to that when it's time to take care of it. Another thing you'll find interesting is the conversation mode. So you can have your inbox set up as a conversation. So instead of having, you know how you would write to somebody, so they write to you, then you reply. Then when they write back, it creates another email and then another email. But then if you want to see the whole thread, you'd have to go each individual email to see what happened. Well, instead of doing that, you can actually go into your settings and go into see all settings, unless Oh, no, right. You don't even need to do that. Right at the bottom here, you can say email threading, conversation view. And it tells you what it does. It groups emails of the same topic together. So if you hit the conversation view and you reload your inbox, it'll put a little arrow to show you that that's a whole conversation. So there you go. So here, yeah, it's hard to show you because in this inbox, I don't really have much, but let me go back into my other ones. But if you do it on your own inbox, you'll see that you actually have conversations and you'll be able to look at the whole thread. So here, for example, right there, you see this one here? It's showing me the 2 emails right there. There's 2, and this one has four emails. So instead of showing all every time that the person wrote back to me, it's actually showing me the whole conversation in a thread. And so one thing that catches people off guard is if you have a lot, after 5, it'll start regrouping. And instead of having every initial, it'll have one that says 3 or 5 or 2, however many messages are in there. And you have to click on that to expand them. And so a lot of people get stuck because they're like, well, I can't find that email she sent me, but I know I read it. And the problem is you're not clicking on that little number. So if you see this here on the left and you see a number, you got to click on it to expand it to see all the emails that are in the conversation. So conversation view will take less room in your email and it'll really show you how the conversation went. And you can see, like, I wrote this on, at 10:05, then somebody wrote back at night, and then somebody wrote back again, and now you can see how the conversation went. And if you want to look at one specific email, you just click on it and now it expands. Really, really simple, very practical. It takes a lot less room in your inbox. So here it is. There it is again, right? So I brought it back into the inbox so that we'd see it. In the calendar mode, another really nice trick is when you're in calendar, you can, by the way, if you do calendar and you do the question mark as well, you also have shortcuts. So question mark in any application in Google will give you the list of shortcuts. So of course it's not the same, right? The shortcuts in calendar are not the same as the shortcuts in Gmail. So see, these are the calendar shortcuts. So as I showed before, you do day view, right? You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the letters. D for day, W for week, M for month. Custom view is X and schedule view is A. So again, if I do that here, I do A, I got my schedule looking like this. If I do W, I got my week. If I do day, I have my day view. If I have month, my month view, and X is custom. Custom means I can set it to show me 2 days. So I can personalize that in the settings. So that's my shortcuts. Now imagine, so as you know, when you go into the Gmail, you do question mark. It gives you all the shortcuts in Gmail, which are a lot. And then if I go into Keep and I do question mark, well, Keep doesn't have shortcuts. So if you do question mark in an application and nothing shows up, it's not because it's not working, it's because there are no shortcuts that they've created for that application. So just a little note there for you to remember. Now, when I'm in calendar, one of the things that is very practical, first of all, you have this thing called time insights. If you don't see it, it's because you haven't activated it in your settings. But it's really nice because it tells you exactly how much time per week you're spending on what. So using your labels, if you've labeled everything, it'll say, well, and if you haven't, it'll show as default, but it'll say market in clients, you spend almost an hour, finances. So if I had more things in my agenda, it would say, oh, you're spending more time on this or less time on that. It's a good way to see how you're spending your time. And if you click more insights, it'll give you a whole graphic here and really the details of the people you meet with, the type of activities you do on a weekly basis, and how much time you spend, etc. So quite interesting information there. And then finally here, your calendars, you might want to add a lot of calendars. So one thing that happens a lot is a lot of people, they can't see the tasks because they didn't check it off. So they don't see their task in their calendar. So they'll see the tasks here, but the tasks won't appear because they didn't tick that off, right? So if it's not on, the task will not appear in the calendar. So make sure you're clicking the tasks calendar there. It's like its own calendar to see them in your agenda. Also, if you're looking for the reminders of Google, well, they were discontinued. So they were integrated into tasks. So that's why you're no longer seeing tasks and reminders. Remember, it was like a little finger with a little string around it. They removed that a little while back, and they've integrated everything into tasks and some of it into Keep with those reminders in Keep. So that's how they changed things around at Google, and which is why we no longer have that. Other interesting fact, if you want to add other calendars, it's not just the calendars of people you work with. You can also add calendars of, like, Christian holidays. You can add holidays in another country. You can add calendars from websites that you visit that are made with Google and they have a Google Calendar on it. And you can also, of course, add calendars of people on your team. And then you can really look at those calendars that you stack on top of each other. So see, if I look at Yvonne's calendar and the vacation schedule and my schedule all together, now I know exactly, I see everybody's schedules all on top of each other with the different colors. So anything that's red will show me that it's her calendar, and anything, so see if I remove it. So the red is actually on the little side here. It's hard to see, but it's the little left-hand side has some red, and that shows me it's coming from her calendar. But usually you'll know, because as soon as you remove it, you'll see this, it's no longer hers. And then if you go on it, it'll tell you that it's her calendar, right? So very easy way to find out.
So was that neat? Did you learn a bunch of stuff? And are you just like completely pumped about what you can do now, because now you got more time on your hands and more relaxed moments in life so that you're not so stressed and overwhelmed? That's the whole point of all of our videos. So we know we hit the spot. We know we can help you. And please remember to check back in here, hit that like button, hit the bell. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. And we'll be coming out with more videos, more tips and tricks to show you how to be more efficient with technology or without, because efficiency is our middle name. Thanks for watching our Improov channel. Again, I'm Sandrine. Have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, morning, whatever time it may be. Bye for now.